Hi, and welcome to the Pride Spotlight, where each month we are highlighting one of our wonderful Pride members and getting to know them a little better and what brought them to our community. My name is Rheama, and I am honored to be your host. Today, we will be meeting with Gail Simmons. Welcome, Gail.
Thanks very much for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Before we dive into what brought you to the Pride and everything, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your day-to-day, where you're coming from in the world today, where you're calling us from?
Sure. Yeah, well, first off, I'm a mother, a grandmother, a partner of a writer who has James Raffin, who is a Arctic traveler. We've been together for 40 years or so. I'm very happy with our whole family situation. I ride horses. I love animals. We've got 2 dogs, a cat. Oh, a couple of horses for a friend of mine living here, and I love nature more than anything, and I've chosen to be outside today. And I think you can hear the birds behind me. It's absolutely lovely. Um, I like to canoe, cross country ski, hike, anything outside at all, winter camping, summer camping. Um, but I think it's the love of the earth and the wilderness that most invigorates me, and that's partly why I'm outside today, because I had a choice of being in the office, and I thought, no, it's too nice out, and I don't think anybody would mind. So we're out here. I live in Canada, one of the best countries in the world, I will say, and in a place called near Kingston in the winter, and back to where my home is in Nova Scotia in the summer. Sometimes take a dog with me. A dog. Sometimes I take a horse with me, plus the 2 dogs and the cat in the cab of a truck. And I said to my husband once when we were traveling, all right, we've got 2 horses in the back. We have 2 dogs in the cab, oh, a cat in the cab, and we are in our 60s and we don't have any children and with us. It's usually you have kids when you do that sort of thing. And here we are trundling along, but that's what keeps you young.
You had your fur family with you. You had
I
your
did.
your
I
your
did.
extended family. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, Gail, what brought you to the Pride?
Well, it's been a movement. There is a movement afoot, and I'll talk about this a little later if you ask me a question that directs me that way. It started with a University of Saskatchewan out west here in Canada. They were doing research on marrying scientific knowledge with energy knowledge, animal communication, interspecies knowledge. Absolutely fascinating. And through a serendipitous path, I ended up attending remotely attending this symposium. And so they're doing amazing things with veterinarians and other scientists, with people who have rescue places and people who just do it like I do and many others. And then as a result of that, I somehow, and I can't quite remember how P factored in just there because there were so many people I met. Anyway, P Summit in April of 2023 was the time when I kind of committed to this, and I thought, okay, what is this person up to? And she's listening to the unheard voices, basically. You know, she's listening to the animals, and that resonated with me very, very much. And she said, separation sickness is the human situation. And I thought, what does that mean? Separation sickness. And then ding, oh, it's the separation between us and this natural world that I'm sitting in right now. Humans, we are so driven, and you find the animals have told us this. We are so driven by economics and money and progress and digging up the earth and cutting down the trees. And when all of that is gone and killing the animals wantonly, like hunters who might respect the deer and hunt properly, will randomly shoot a wolf or a coyote if they see them just because it's there. And that kind of human behavior is so destructive. Yet the animals forgive us and forgive us and forgive us and try to support us. And P speaks that language to me. So um, I joined the Pride. And as I've been to attended many of the functions, including the campfires and the power ups and things, I realized that this global movement that we're all in, that I have, as I said before, I've certainly been pushed towards it without knowing. I've known I'm going somewhere. So are you, Rheama. So is this spotlight going in the same direction. We are all gathering. They say, if you build it, they shall come. It's almost like, oh, I got goosebumps telling you this. All over the world, we're sort of going, oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh, we're all thinking the same thing. We all have that universal knowledge that is almost subconscious knowledge that resonates with us that you don't learn in a book. You just learn by being with other people, especially First Nations people here in Canada, well, anywhere in the world, Indigenous people. The ones who have held on to traditional knowledge have a lot to be teaching the people who have forgotten they ever had traditional knowledge. And we all have, no matter where we've come from, years and years and years ago. But we are now so much in this movement of superiority of humans, and we are not. We are part of it all. And that's what P is all about in my mind. And when she talks to the animals, she stays true to that. Just true to that. It's not about P. It's about the animals. And just I had to get on board because it's part of this train I'm on, you know. So that's the short version.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's very relevant. It sounds like this has expanded your world.
All of our worlds,
Yeah,
really.
that's
Because
beautiful.
we are part of this world. It's an awareness that is growing and growing and growing. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And I'll be long dead before it finally gets to where we want it to go. But I don't care about dying. There's a whole other world out there once you kick out of this body, you know, and the animals have taught me that. That's for sure.
How do you receive your messages? What is your experience?
Well, that's interesting. Um, I've learned over the many years that I've been doing this that some people just see images, or they just get these wonderful feelings, or um, all kinds of ways of dealing. And for whatever reason it is, I get them all. It just came to me. I didn't go looking for. I've been doing energy work since I was 17 years old before, and I didn't tell anybody. Didn't, because you'd be classified. People would ostracize you. It was a scary thing in a way. And so it started with dreams that came true, carbon copy. I've always loved animals. I didn't understand way back when why the squirrel would sit on my hand. They just squirrel sat in my hand, or why I could feel so comfortable with my horses, just sitting with them and listening to them, and all of this stuff. So anyway, what happens is I can have full-blown conversations with them. There was a horse, I won't give her name. There was a horse in a barn, and she was one of those mares that's, not very nice. So you'd go by her stall and she'd whip her bum, and anyway, I was alone in the barn. It was an L-shaped barn. I was going to do bandaging on my horse. I'm trundling along with my stuff, and I hear in my energy space, I'm really thirsty. Could you get me some water, please? I looked over. It came from Emma's stall. I thought, wow. And instead of with her rear end towards me, she's being very sweet. And so I thought, I'm going crazy. I kept walking, and she said again, no, please, could I please have some water? And I turned around and I went back, and I thought, put my stuff down. And I thought, boy, if she doesn't have any water in her bucket, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is really strange. So I went in. Sure enough, there's just a tiny bit of water left in her bucket. So I gave her, and she moved back politely, went over to the side, and all but said, thank you very much. So I filled up the water. She drank all that. I filled it again. And the owner of the stable had done all the chores. She'd had water. And then as I was walking away, I said, there you go, girl. She let me touch her. She said, I'm really afraid. And I said, what are you afraid of? She said, I don't think I'll be a very good mother. I thought, I'm really cracking up now. And I said, I think you will. You're fierce. You'll be a very good mother. And I said, are you in foal? Well, yes. So I didn't know that. And so I said, you'll be very fine. Don't you worry about it. So I talked to the person, her person, the next day. And I said, say, is this mare, is she in foal? Oh yeah, didn't you know? I said, no, I didn't. And she had a wonderful foal and she was a good mom. So how do I explain that in a couple of words? So that happens. The other thing that happens is they all have, some of them have accents, like a British accent. This dog I spoke to had a vocabulary that was way better than mine. Like it was unbelievable. And then a little dog, Ruby, her person doesn't mind if I mention her name. It's just this little muffy dog. And one of the questions was, do you like Monty, her horse? And I won't use the word, the swear word, starting with F, that this dog used. She said, Monty, she said, I can't stand him. I want to kick him in the shins. That, oh my goodness. And so that was her personality and her words. And I type it out and I put quotation marks around the animal's words. And if I get them wrong, they tell me to go back and correct it. Because that's, they say, no, that's, I was an English high school teacher, so I'm pernickety about language. They'll say, no, also I'll correct their grammar things. And they say, that's not what I said. So I do that. And then the last thing I'll tell you, I feel, I hear, I can feel in their, I go in their bodies, I can feel where they are. Same with the animals P gives to us. And then I have what I call energy tears. And I just spoke to a dog a couple of days ago whose person wanted to know if he was ready to move on to the other side through euthanasia. And he said, absolutely, absolutely, I do. But when I went into the space through his face, his eyes, immediately somebody turned a tap on my eyes and they went just streaming of tears. And you know, human tears, earth tears are, you know how we do that. It's got emotion, it's got movement. These don't, they just leak. And I said, why are you, he was crying. Why are you crying? And he said, not for me, because I want out of this old, decrepit, painful body, but I'm crying for my person because I know she will miss me. I know it makes you cry, doesn't it?
Wow, that was a great, those are all great stories. You
Oh,
just,
you poor thing.
you're so blessed. That's so great.
I am. Well,
That is just
anybody can
beautiful.
do this. Anybody can do this. Anyone. It's all in us all. It just depends on how well you can undo the blocks that you have. That's all. It's not a gift. Although I feel in a way, I feel so much gratitude for being able to help people and mostly help the animals get across how they feel. You know, that's to me is a blessing in my life to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay. So, what is your favorite aspect of the Pride? Is it the power-ups, the summit conversations, the sound healings, um, the community?
It's talking to the animals who P brings in and hearing their messages. And their messages are a confirmation every single time that what we are all doing is right. We don't have to wonder if it's some politician who's got a policy out for, oh, I don't know, right now in Canada, it's this big thing on drug use and should we allow it and legalize it or not? You can see some are going to be hurt, some are not. It might be accept, not in this. So, you know, I can give you an example if you want of the hummingbird that we talked to. So the hummingbird's message for me, anyway, well, it came through to us all, is that small is powerful. And think of this within the context of what we were talking about earlier, which was that, you know, you build it, they shall come. The animals are coming. We are coming. I think of P going into her space to ask some animal to come forth. And I imagine the whole jungle and all the forests all over the world and everybody's coming in and say, oh, it's me. I want you to listen to me, you know? And I find people's spirit animals as well. And when I go into my space to ask which spirit animal might belong, say to you, the giraffe comes every time. He says, oh, it's me. And I say, no, it's not you. Stop playing with me. Oh, no, it's me this time. And then maybe a beaver will come through or a falcon comes through or somebody who truly is. And that's why I picture P as sort of Dr. Doolittle calls out and says, hey, anyway, hummingbird came in, this little tiny, tiny little wisp of life comes in. And hummingbird said, and I've written down a couple of these things. Hummingbird said, small is amazing. Small as a unit in a large group is way more powerful than a few people who think they're going to rule the world. And the message was that it's just like all of us doing animal communication. If we all just come together, come together, come together, we are a force. Do you hear that bird? That's a cardinal. Isn't that lovely? Ooh. Anyway, we come together as a group. Maybe Cardinal is saying, yes, listen to him. He's just right in here. So this little tiny thing has a big message. And he said, don't let small get in the way of the power to do the right thing. Don't let small get in the, like, oh, I'm just me. I'm just doing it here in this little village where I live. I'm not going to make any difference. Yes, we all are, because we're together. You and I are talking today. I didn't know you a month ago, and whoever's seeing this, I embrace all of you. We are in this together. And that's what Hummingbird said. And then this reflects Pea's words. She said, the whole universe is a unified field, and we are communally connected. So the whole universe, everything, even beyond what we know, we're all connected. And how can humans be so stupid as to think that we are above? Really? Oh my goodness. Look at the floods and things. So that's Mother Nature saying, that's I'm going to blow your house down. I'm the big bad wolf, right? Except for wolves are lovely. I shouldn't have said that. So she also said separation is an illusion. It's an absolute illusion. And animal communication is the path to conscious reconnection. So just think about that. Animal communication is the path to conscious reconnection, like we are right now, the people who are out there watching this, the new people who will come to Peace Site. It's just happening. And the other, I want to talk about one other animal. When it was last summer, and I was in Nova Scotia on the ocean, and there are a lot of eagles there, and they soar by, and eagle's my husband's spirit animal, very powerful animal. And she had us be eagle. And I thought, oh, this is going to be really good. And so she said, go into eagle's body. And I thought, all right. And I'd seen them fly. I thought I knew everything about the flying because I'd seen so many. Goosebumps again. I went into eagle's body and I learned how the wing works. And it starts here to get I'd never really broken it down before until I felt it inside the body. And the power was unbelievable. It was like no power in my body I had ever felt in my life. And I thought, wow, that was so profound. And we went over the ocean. Northumberland Strait is part of the ocean between the mainland and Prince Edward Island. I know it well. And we went over it. And I actually saw what he saw. Oh, it was unbelievable. And I don't know how I got on that from your question, but anyway, that's what P has brought into the realm of what we all know, and the animals have so much to teach us.
Wow,
Anyway.
beautiful. So you might have already answered it, but what is your favorite species you've communicated with within a power up?
Oh, and a power up, it would be those two, hummingbird and eagle was profound. Absolutely profound, because I was in him, and his message was the same, except for he also said, we can see, and he could see the wind. Did you ever think about this? You can't see the wind. He taught me that. I thought, oh yeah, I can. The trees are moving. He said, no. Can you see it? Oh, it blew my mind. I thought, no. And he said, okay, if you think you can see it, what color is it? I don't know. What is it like to touch? Can you reach out and touch it? No. Can you hold it and give it to somebody like a cup of coffee? No. Can you draw it? Well, we have, the childhood things that the man who's blowing blank. You can't. And he said, I live in that. I am in that. That is part of me. That's his freeway, right? And off he goes. I'd never had the perspective of that. So I think Eagle's perspective, because I thought I knew him so well, because I lived with him, I'd done the communication to find my husband's spirit animal. I thought, okay, I've got Eagle. This will be interesting. Oh no, we don't know anything. It was humbling. It was enlightening. I'll never forget it. So I think Eagle, that particular interaction was, oh, absolutely, totally amazing. Yeah. Anyway, that's Pea's power of just taking us gently into these places. And all we have to do is just turn the switch on, open up the channel. And she helps a lot of people do that.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we say goodbye today?
Just to sort of recap that the pride is an affirmation of what I am doing and what thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world are doing. And I hope she keeps going with it. Eagle, mongoose, hummingbird, seal, hawk, we're all journeying on the same path together with the same intent. And that is to bridge the gap that humans have created between our natural world and our existence. We are the natural world, and we are not at the top, and nobody's at the top. We need to work together. Pride is an affirmation of a global movement that finally for humans is going in the right direction. And I'm so happy to be part of it. If I died tomorrow, I've had a great life and I'm ready to move on to what's next, but I'm not going to.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we're so happy you're part of our community also. Thank you.
Total pleasure. Total pleasure.